If you're looking for the cheapest, and I mean cheapest coins out there to build your God Squad, head over to AOEAH.com. They are fast and reliable, and make sure you use code WOLF to get 3% off. Link is in the description. So it looks like we were all wrong about EA not updating and patching Madden 22 current gen. There's been a patch update for next gen and current gen. We're going to talk about that today because they changed some things that are pretty good as far as gameplay goes. However, there are some things they still choose to ignore. Now, I scanned over it a little bit, and I gotta say, I think that these 335 wide metas are gonna be a little bit more powerful now because they actually patched the way contains work. We may even find a glitch blitz coming from another formation that I'm gonna need to go into the lab and check out. Make sure you guys drop a like, subscribe if you're new. Become a member. The 335 wide meta full ebook is in the member section. The bunch offset is in there. The tray wide flex is in there. Single back wing stack full scheme is in there. Bunch of stuff in there. There's more to come. The 245 odd is coming. Let's talk about it. So first, we're gonna be talking about the Series X and PS5 version and the key highlights. New scouting feature in franchise mode, ranked mode in the yard now available, which means they added pretty much skill-based matchmaking or ELO into the yard. Yikes, that's a big yikes for me. But it's a mode, so I don't think you have to play it. New gameplay abilities, tuning, and updated pass coverage. So this is the one that I like right here, as well as the tuning. Now the abilities, I think they added new abilities. They have authenticity updates, but I'm not going to go over that. You guys can read that if you want. But the gameplay updates, this is what we really want to talk about. So new abilities, Runoff Elite. Players with this ability will distract defenders for longer with their runoffs. Meaning the game, if you're playing Ultimate Team, man, be ready to bust out the wallet, because the reason they added halftime adjustments and being able to make changes at halftime is because you're going to have so many abilities available for your team that if someone comes out with a certain scheme you can't stop in the beginning of the game, the first 2 quarters before the half, right? You can come in with all these new abilities and just try to counter everything he's doing in the second half. You guys see what I'm saying? So they created a pool of abilities, and you're going to need most of them now, which means you're going to need to spend more or grind way more to make sure you have all the top abilities for your team. So the receiver runoffs are when the receiver fakes as if he's running a pass route downfield. This is done to pull the defenders away from the line of scrimmage and give the ball carrier more room if he gets to the edge. Some receivers are masters at pulling this off and making the defender feel like it's a real route he is running. That is what this ability emulates. So imagine with these abilities and stretch, it's going to be crazy in Ultimate Team, man. My prayers for you guys. On the ball, players with this ability are much less likely to be fooled by wide receiver runoffs. Precision kickers with this ability can see the entirety of the kicking arc. And the crusher, defenders with this ability will cause heavy fatigue penalties when tackling a ball carrier with a hit stick tackle. This is going to be crucial. The crusher is actually going to be crucial because me personally, that's all I do. I don't try to tackle no more. I try to hit stick everybody. I think some of y'all are the same as me. Let me know in the comments if you're the same as me. You don't even try to tackle. You just try to hit stick people every single time, even if you miss the tackle. You'll see it in my gameplays all over the place. The demoralizer. Defenders with this ability will clear a ball carrier's progress towards entering the zone with a hit stick tackle. Wow. Mind Reader, X Factor. When activated, defenders can see offensive play art via Coach Cam. This powerful X Factor ability can only activate once the defensive player possessing the ability gets in the zone, landing 3 successful hit sticks on simulation or 5 successful hit sticks on competitive. So 5 hit sticks on competitive is going to be crazy, man. People are going to be just hit sticking all over the place. You will be able to view your opponent's play art when you bring up Coach Cam. To knock the player out of the zone, you will need to gain 30 yards on offense. Wow. Okay, so this X Factor will not immediately be available in Ultimate Team, but it will be available in franchise. Okay, so here's where we really want to talk about. Hook zones. Fixed an issue causing the mid-read defender in Tampa 2 to drift the wrong direction versus trips, leaving the tight end off the snap. This fix makes sure the mid-read is opening with that vertical by number 3 and carrying it better vertically downfield. So I would imagine it would be placement as far as mid-read defenders. However, I'm going to test because whenever I'm trying to throw past a mid-read, there's actually a timing. There's like a count off where I count the seconds of the mid-read. Okay, this is just me personally. I don't know if you guys do it, but when I run an in route with a deep post and I use that in route as the clock, so when he breaks on his route, I start counting seconds, and it's like 3 to 4 seconds upon him entering that in route where the mid-read defender just glitches out and I can throw the deep post over the middle of the field. So I'm going to test that and see where we stand with the hook zones. The curl flat zones improve curl flat zone logic, so they would prioritize out breaking routes instead of shading under verticals. Also improve some logic, so curl flats and quarter flats won't chuck out breaking routes that were causing them to give up leverage and they had to cover the sideline. So the thing with curl flats, and I'm going to test it just to see if it is that curl flats, no matter how you run it, whether it be with an adjustment or not, would still play deep inside the numbers. So if you're running a crossing route against curl flat zones, they would still get behind the crossing route because curl flats would play toward the numbers, inside the numbers, as opposed to setting your cloud flats to 20 and those guys playing outside the numbers, playing the crossing route better. However, the problem became is when you set those cloud flats to 20, 25, you got a 10-yard drag route instantly. So you had to be careful with how you used zone drops as far as cloud flats go. So flat zones, improved cloud flat zone logic to better carry vertical routes to protect the fade and improve their facing direction immediately following the chuck. Fix an issue. I guess this is going to be talking about like seam routes and stuff like that, bro. Like quick passes over the middle, cloud flashes get cooked at the beginning of the play. Maybe that's what they're talking about. Fix an issue so cover 2 sink soft squat defenders could better shade receivers in the flat. So this might be something we need to pay attention to because cover 2 sink is a very good play, especially the one from the 3-4 odd. Not a lot of people use it. It's a very good play to use against someone who's running a 2 wide receiver set, 1 wide receiver set. The 3-4 odd version is really good. So give that a look. If you're playing someone that's running under center a lot, 1 wide receiver, 2 wide receiver, look at this cover 2 sink. Sometimes you do get a glitchy free release off the edge straight for the quarterback. It's random. Fixed an issue preventing hard flat defenders from covering inside receivers and tight ends in bunch close formations running flat routes and the flat portion of the wheel route. So they may have put an end to my table route glitchiness, bro. You guys remember in my gameplays I say no one can pick table routes. You can't. Flat routes from the running back. Now I'm gonna test it and see, can I do it? Do I still get that little 1 to 2 second window? It's like a 1 second window where I snap the ball and the defense can't react in time and I just throw the table route and then I either get around the hard flat or go inside the hard flat to get my yards. We're gonna see if that is what they're talking about, if that's what it fixed. Hopefully, you know, I kind of want it to be that they fixed it. However, it's gonna hurt my soul because I love the table routes. Man coverage alignment matchups improve man defender motion logic, so man defenders will probably follow and align when their receiver motions across the formation when the AI team is using the cornerback matchups. Okay, so when I do with my coaching adjustments, I set it to speed, and I noticed that when my opponent like motions someone or even flips the play, my team is behind like a second or two. So maybe they fixed all that. I know motions they were behind by a lot. By the time they recognize and see what was happening, they're like a whole second or two behind. We fixed an issue causing man coverage assignments to incorrectly swap when the offense motioned the receiver across the formation. Yeah, I've seen that. Okay, so dynamic gameplay. They fixed an issue with the Colts home field advantage failing to show the hat count visual that could be used as pass run play to tell. Tuning the adrenaline in factor, so instead of infinite stamina, it now reduces the rate of stamina drain. Damn, that's actually big. That's not good. Fixed an issue causing the shook play art to remain on the field after the snap, and fixed an issue causing a logo to appear over players' heads instead of question mark for specific in factors. The next one is play art. Fixed an issue causing the wide receiver icons to stay visible. Fixed an issue preventing the art from updating to correct a route after making a hot route. Fixed an issue preventing art from updating on speed options. So a lot of these I didn't even know. But this one, bro, okay? This one, QB contains. Tuning to QB contain behavior so contained defenders will get more depth off the snap. This is going to be huge. Tuning to open up disengage angles to allow contained defenders to anticipate better getting off blocks to more quickly react to QBs dropping back too far behind the line of scrimmage. What you're going to see here is I'm going to try to look for it, but someone's going to find a disengaged block that's going to come straight up the gap toward the quarterback. It's going to happen. It's going to show its ugly face. It could be within a week. It could be within a month, but it is coming. Whether it's me that puts it out, whether it's someone else, someone's going to find it, and it's going to be this. This is going to be the reason why it's going to be that way. So we may see a shift, maybe a little additive to the meta now, where you could come in, and I want to say the best bet for this is probably going to be crossfire plays, maybe Maybe cover 2 sync plays, things of that nature, but I'll be looking for something. Tackling, fix the rare issue preventing QB slide from being ruled down. Fix a rare issue that could allow a defender to warp off the ground from a diving tackle into a standing warp tackle. So it's all good, a wrap tackle. Fix the blocking issue, preventing the blocking running back from picking up an edge rusher versus nickel 3-3-5 wide flipped. I knew about that already, but it was iffy, okay? It never really came in all the time. It was just rare, but it's good to see that they fixed that part. Address an issue where QBs would be able to scramble deep in the offensive backfield at full speed until they found an angle to get around pass rushers. I want to see, because every time they say they patch something like this right here, I still see clips of people running 30 yards back and still making completions over the middle of the field, like precision dots. Now the QBs will start to fatigue faster and slow down when trying to scramble 15 plus yards behind the line of scrimmage. This reflects the realistic amount of effort and energy loss QB suffer in real life when scrambling so deep in the offensive backfield. Okay, so fix an issue causing players sometimes to start the second half of the game extremely fatigued. Hopefully that's current gen. I think it's going to be current gen as well. Remember, I actually did a gameplay and showing you guys the QB run. I even let my opponent score and try to keep him in the game and calling timeouts and just giving him the ball back. So my Lamar would have enough time to recoup. However, he never did. He stayed red the whole game. So this is very important, right? If you're going to want to run a scheme with QB designed runs. Fix an issue causing the user control player to get stuck running on touchbacks during kickoffs. A lot of these, I don't know. Fix issues around the Deadeye's ability triggering in the wrong situation. Inside Deadeye was not only triggering on passes to targets inside the numbers, but targets outside the numbers as well. So so they actually nerfed it because it was actually working for you didn't need the other ability. Fix the rare issue that could result in offensive pass interference penalty to be called after a defender would hit stick a receiver while running his route. Wow. Shooting to inaccurate passes to make passes more inaccurate when the QB has scrambled to 15 yards or more behind the line of scrimmage. I gotta see how far I go back sometimes, bro. You know, I gotta check out my own gameplay. And then you got the franchise updates. New scouting update available. Tune logic for the MVP award via boosting weight of sacks. Fix to some teams missing their draft picks on the active preseason roster. Address an issue with weekly strategy fatigue where CPU auto-manage rep teams to get fatigued by the end of the season. And then another issue where running backs had very high yards per reception in simulation and the right tackle position did not appear in the trade menus. And then they have the face of the franchise updates, the yard. I'm not going to read all this stuff right here, but you're going to notice that here on right here on current gen, they did change a couple things that are different. However, they added the same abilities, but on our pass rush, address an issue where QB contained assignments would allow the QB to run underneath the defender and get outside the pocket. So this is going to make QB contains even more powerful. Address an issue where QB contained defender did not disengage at the appropriate time once the QB broke pocket and started scrambling. So you're going to notice that there's no zone coverage logic for Madden 22 current gen, because remember I tell you it's a different game. It's completely different. Like the money plays I show you for current gen don't always work on next gen, and the ones on next gen don't always work on current gen because there's different ways to manipulate the game. I have more on the way, so stay tuned. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let me know what you think of the patch below. Drop a like, become a member. Love you guys, man. Peace.